Now that I know the truth, now that I know they're apparently futzing around, Mr. Magooing about, going, that guy with a gun on the roof must be a goober, must be like Dwight Schrute looking at Michael in the woods through a scope, just just doing it for a better view. Yeah, the safety's on.
Eating those fucking mushrooms. I have hinted my pants. Yeah, that's a good fucking episode.
It is funny.
Yeah, the whole thing. I maybe 50 years. I'll say this: if that person had been successful and killed Trump, this would have been one of those conspiracy theories, and it would have lived on, just like JFK. It would be bigger than JFK as far as like the movies and the documentaries and the studies and the microscopic, like, oh, but you don't know about the water tower shooter, do you? You don't remember the glint in the woods. What about the popping noises heard on the eastern lawn? Yeah, there'd be all these little tidbits, and it would be studied over and poured over. Woody, I'm talking about if Trump had died, how crazy the investigation and the legacy of that event would be. Because we have I think it's Zapruder film. It's fucking probably a Polak or something. That was just a guy who happened to be there with a camera that was better than most people had back then. And it's pretty good. He's got the camera on Kennedy when he gets shot. If you've ever seen JFK, which is a tremendous fucking movie, you want to see JFK, it's great. Highly recommend it. You see his head get blown off, basically. But it's still that old 60s, bumpy, stabilized, I don't know, a small millimeter film, 8mm film or something. Trump was in HD on fucking CNN live. There were 15,000 people there or some shit watching live. Everybody was watching that guy's face right there in front of you. They're zoomed in on it in 4K. If he had died, it would have been, it would be bigger than JFK, the way they poured over the conspiracy theories. And who set it up? I think it was the Iranians. They made a plot just before. I think it was the mob. No, it was the Duke of Belgium. He never let it go when Trump bumped him out of that photograph. His wife saw that and she left him right after for the mailman.
I'm not going to be disrespected. They will once again know that Belgium is a real country and not just a silly little vassal state of the United States. We have tens of military members.
I still feel like we should know more about the shooter. Like he seems to be the only 20-year-old on earth without social media.
That's definitely someone had to have like scrubbed that shit. He's a registered Republican who donated money to the Get Out the Vote portion of Act Blue, which is like a getting more votes for Democrat. Like this guy there's just no way.
He has so many friends.
Has no. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he had no friends, and I did see some interviews with people who were like, yeah, this guy, I briefly knew him in school 9 years ago. And it's like, wow, they had to go deep. This guy really did have no friends.
They interviewed his guidance counselor and they were like, was he bullied? And he was like, absolutely
no, I'm just bad at my job.
Exactly. When he said absolutely not, I was like, you might need to investigate you further, sir. Like you were being how do you fucking know? How do you fucking know?
Other than some mean-spirited MK Ultra guys who'd come over to his house sometimes.
The BlackRock guys were so cool with him that they all knew each other by first names. They had nicknames.
It's hard to get any information about who this guy really is, right? Like Taylor mentioned, he's a registered Republican, but he donated to a Democratic cause. And then he also apparently argued the conservative points in high school debate class every heckin' time. And he was the only guy who did, according to high school classmates. I don't know how reliable that is, right? Like how tied in are they? And then there was a high school classmate who said that he was bullied a lot, and then a guidance counselor who said he wasn't. It's like, no matter what you want to think he is, you can find your side in what I just said.
And also, I would trust a classmate over discerning whether or not another classmate was bullied over a guidance counselor.
Big time. They have
like 100%. The guidance counselor isn't going to know.
Especially, I don't know what your relationship with your guidance counselor was, but non-existent is exactly right. So fuck that old fucker who clearly was lying to be on the news or whatever the fuck. But I did see the gun, and man, I was just like, get a little closer so I can see. Get a little closer. I know what it is. It doesn't matter. It's an AR. But I wanted to see the optic. I was so interested in what kind of optic he had.
It was a red dot.
That's what it looked like, but I couldn't see it well enough to call it.
I couldn't tell you which red dot it was. I just read about it in the news. It was a red dot. So
the
no
way
mag.
it was. That's that explains, why he didn't hit his target, I guess, to some extent. Although we'd have seen him turn.
Would have hit it if Trump didn't do his spastic head movement.
Fair enough. I mean, pretty.
Not in the middle of the head.
And they're trying to kill me. Believe me. And he just like throw the head to the side.
I need somebody to make that meme. They haven't done it yet, where like Trump dodges the bullet, and then you cut to Morpheus going, "He's beginning to believe." That was like I know that you hate Trump, and rightfully so for many of the things. Look, Trump's a very flawed, awful person. I know you hate Trump.
It's full of hate. It's not such a political guy. I can't get him to shut up.
What I loved about it, what I saw so many TikToks of like, very left-leaning people being like, then he just stood up like a badass and pushed the Secret Service kind of aside, made him let him put his shoes back on.
High heels.
And he started yelling, and he started pumping his fist and saying, "Fight." Kind of looked like he was pissed off and wanted to beat the guy up who'd shot him. It was the coolest thing I've ever fucking seen. And also I think
it was pretty cool.
And you got to admit, like, I think some people would. Trump clearly got his reaction to being shot was anger. I think that's a little bit telling about like what he's actually about, because like you're getting an unadulterated moment right there. You got to believe that, right? Like that's not drama.
Sure.
Look, I will say this: if he got shot. If he got shot and was like, all right, how do I sell this while he's down there and the blood's dripping? What's the move? Do I fight or fight power or get him? What do I say? Oh, fight. Just keep it simple. Like if he's thinking like that, then that's
here's my chance.
Like if he thinks like that and he's
President
like
Trump
that's impressive in its own right. But I don't think he was thinking about anything. I think like when he stood up and I heard the unfiltered audio or whatever, so you can hear the Secret Service through the stadium microphone that Trump was using, and they're like, "Shooters down." So Trump knows in this moment that like the guy's dead, and then he stands up and he's like clearly angry and saying, "Fight." I thought that was a little telling about his personality. You know that what would Obama have said when he stood up and pumped his fist? I'm not saying Obama wouldn't have been cool.
He would have called for unity.
My fellow Americans.
My fellow Americans.
Forgive him. Like he'd have done that, like Jesus Christ himself. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
They tried to kill me today. Believe it or not. And it was probably a white guy.
It's hard to find pictures of him on the ground.
You'd be right.
Like when I saw him on the ground, he looked panicked and scared. Like to me, that was his first reaction.
Oh, you're alone on that island. He looked badass. Like when he stood up and was yelling "fight" after he.
I didn't say when he stood up. When he was on the ground, like
well, I mean, he did just get shot.
Yeah, got his ear pierced. I've seen 9-year-old girls that didn't look so panicked.
Trump was enveloped with agents, and
this is a procedure typically done at the
and get it straight. Trump wasn't collapsed.
The
cope over this.
Trump had 5 grown men and 1 medium-sized woman on his back.
I've had that. And I only came once.
That's
Woody, watch this video if you're of Trump golfing a little bit, he got the shit out of the ball.
I've seen him golf, and look, I can't take knocks at it. His putting is weird, but I'm told it's effective. So
yeah, he has a weird.
Well, he learned it during the 40s or something. Like he's an old guy.
I bet it's a compensation for something else. Like, you know what? I always do this, so I put a spin on it, and now it goes straight.
Or he's like 81 and his shoulder 79, however fucking old.
You gotta put that picture up, bro.
Very important.
Sorry, and he's 78 and his shoulder's not great, and so he has to like do some weird movement. I don't know enough about golf to analyze it, but my younger brother is addicted to golf, plays constantly, loves it, and he sent me a video of Trump and. I don't recall the guy's name. He's like the biggest.
He's like Goku going Super Saiyan down there. You thought that was fear?
Panic.
That was determination. He was
resolved. That looks like an album cover.
That does look like an album cover. It looks pretty cool.
That doesn't look like a guy who's like, I don't know, in fight mode to me. But I can't deny he got up.
I mean, he had been shot.
His ear was pierced.
He had been shot 5 seconds before this.
He should have ran towards the bullets like a Viking berserker.
That's what he says he
should have ripped out of his shirt.
They're like, what would you do if you had a school shooting? He's like, I'd run in there and save everyone. Everyone's like, you're so full of shit. And it turns out he doesn't do that.
What are you talking about?
He didn't run towards the shooter and take out him like he said he would.
He got shot and then stood up and yelled, "Fight, fight."
What
fight.
a pussy! I know.
Oh,
I mean, another thing about that too, though, is like I think it's pretty impressive that he's 78 and he can move the way he does. Like my grandfather died when he was 80, and he was like, he'd have to call like one of us if we didn't answer. He'd have to call the fire department if he like fell out of bed.
Mhm.
You know, and it's like the fact that he could be in that situation where first off he doesn't have a heart attack immediately, but then second he has to hit the deck quick, have mad people jump on top of him. You know, those are some big bitches. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want them on top of
Hefty
him,
gals.
You know? And then he just gets back up and he's able to.
You give him credit for hitting the deck quickly, like with agility. He got tackled by the Secret Service.
Did he get tackled? I
He
didn't.
ducked. No, he ducked.
Crash test dummy could have.
Oh yeah, you're right, Woody. He got tackled to the ground right after those popping noises that confused him. You're giving, I don't. It's just some propaganda coming from the MSNBC
this is
over there.
All truth.
I hear he didn't even get shot. You don't believe he got shot, right?
No, there was a time when I had heard it was a ricochet. That was like a news report, and I kind of wanted to believe it for a while, but I don't think it was a ricochet. I think
they said it was a teleprompter had been shattered and glass had hit his ear. That's what that was the story
being reported. Yeah, but you fell for one too. You said he was shot in the chest, and he thought he had.
No, I did not.
No, Kyle did not.
I absolutely did not.
Kyle did not
you
say he
posted the picture. He was.
I didn't post the picture either.
Stand by.
This is true. You posted the picture and you said shot to the chest. I'm not an expert, just asking questions. Like that's almost exactly what happened. This is great.
Yeah, it was hardcore what he did. Recovering from being shot that quickly.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like suck his dick, but it's like, I can't imagine like if I'd be on my game after getting fucking shot at a political rally. I think I'd be like, I'd be so low to the ground and trying to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, if you told Biden to do a burpee, like they'd need to bring the Secret Service in to get him back up.
Poor Biden.
They'd have to attach ropes to him.
They would. They'd have to weekend at Bernie's and marionette him around.
Yeah. I mean, like I haven't been shot at, but I've been around.
Oh, it was Taylor. Fuck. Taylor posted a picture of his vest with his jacket with the hole in it and said, "Did he take one in the vest?" I thought it was Kyle. My bad.
No, it's all good.
That's okay.
That was during the fact finding time where we were all sharing all kinds of
minutes after.
Like, what is this? What's going on here?
Yeah,
I don't think
it turned out that was Photoshop. There's a lot of pictures that show it.
Yeah,
the whole
found that out later, but looks like
that would have been really cool if he had though. Like if he pulled out the bullet.
You think I don't think he would have done that, or maybe he would have. He's apparently he never leaves showbiz mode. The show must go on to him at all times.
I appreciate that. I want that in my supreme leader. I mean president,
king.
I mean whatever he decides to call himself, I'll fucking salute, because when you don't, it's just like when you don't pay your taxes, they show up with guns.
He's gonna support Israel so hard in his second term.
Good, because that's what we all want.